Assalamualaikum, my name is Mahnoor and this is UMT TV. Previously, we talked about the introductions of intellectual property rights and how we can register to safeguard our trademarks. And continuing on that, we have Sir Asad Abbas, but from the Advocate High Court, a legal expert for about 12 years. We will talk about more about how, if these intellectual property rights are breached, what can be the results. Sir, these laws, these intellectual property rights, are they taken seriously in Pakistan, or are they treated differently in international domain?
Well, I told you that you just need to get it registered in in the region in which you are going to operate. Like if you have got a particular.
But if you're in Pakistan.
If you have, for example, let's talk about with an illustration. If you talk about that, you have one brand which you have got registered in USA, and you want to bring this brand here in Pakistan. Without intimating to the relevant authority, you will not be given protection. You just need to intimate that, look, I have been given this certificate of registration from a particular authority in USA, and now I want to have the same protection in Pakistan. What is the procedure? They will let you know. You just need to fulfill 2 or 3 forms and to pay certain fees. Then you will be given the protection. But if you, without intimating, start doing the business with the same name or brand, and if I, after seeing I have my other, with the same name, I start my own business, then it will be difficulty. So it is advisable to the peoples who have got their trademark registered in any other word in the country. If they come to our country, they need to get it registered as well, because the intellectual property rights, works globally in a sense. If you are not registered in a particular region, you cannot claim it. Okay. All over the world. Registration in a particular country is important. Secondly, it's also important to mention for your audience that there are certain domains. Like we have seen that there is an entity with the name of urban developers, there is a name of entity with urban shoes, there are name of urban furnitures. So all these entities are different. Like we can talk about, there are diamond industry, there are diamond paints. So we have to see there are certain categories. In which category you have got yourself registered. If you have got yourself registered in the paints, you cannot claim to have the same right in any other domains. So it depends on how much domain you have got yourself registered. Okay. Whether it's a furniture, whether it's relating to clothes, whether it's relating to food, what kind of domain you have chosen for your registration.
Okay. Yeah. Sir, can you describe, can you actually link up any, can you actually see any link from other laws, for example, cybercrime, like taking away your website, that could be related to intellectual property rights. Can you see any other law that could be attached to intellectual property rights if it's breached?
Well, there are certain rights when we talk about, intellectual property right, like cyber laws. Like there are some procedural law which we need to understand before our intellectual property right can be protected. Like if your invention has been stolen from your website, and then you have obviously cyber law in our country, according to which you can file an application to FIA or any other relevant authority, which can start, probing into the matter whether it was your invention and how it has been stolen and how it has been copied. Then obviously there are certain remedies which are civil in nature, there are certain remedies which are criminal in nature. But we can start, both of the remedies simultaneously. Like, in trademark ordinance, we see that we can claim the compensation as well as we can get an FIR registered against a particular person.
Okay. Sir, thank you for explaining these intellectual property rights and explaining our rights. Could you just tell our audience again about the procedures of registering your property rights?
Well, the best idea is to go to their website and they will let you know about the different steps which are available there. First of all, you just need to file an application to figure out whether the intellectual property right or trademark which you are going to get registered, whether it's already registered or not with the same name. And after taking assurance from the relevant authority this is not registered, then you can apply with certain specification. You will send 4 or 3 forms with your trademark, and you, after paying the required fee, then if there is no opposition, it will be published into the official gazette or newspaper.
Yeah.
And if there's opposition, obviously then you need to go towards the litigation side. You need to prove before the relevant authority. But if there is no any sort of opposition of your trademark,
Yeah.
then after a certain period of time you will be given a certificate of registration of your trademark.
Of course.
So if there is any breach, we need to understand that there are 2 remedies. One of them is called civil remedies, another ones are called criminal remedies. Like you can approach to the court for taking a restraining order. Like if you are having a certain brand, and I on the other side have the same brand and started having business, with the same name or with the same trademark, so you can go to the court. There are special courts which are called
Special courts.
Special courts are
Okay.
those courts which are which only adjudicates matter regarding the intellectual property rights. Like if there are a violation regarding the patent laws, if there are a violation of intellectual property rights, if are violations of designs, if there are violation of any copyrights. So these laws are catered by the special court, which are called intellectual property rights court.
Okay.
We have here in Lahore as well and other part of the country as well. So firstly, we have to see what kind of breach has taken place.
Okay.
If you want to stop it straight away, like if your brand is getting a bad name in the market on account of the reasons that other party is using without
We see a lot of cases like that.
Sort of cases like previously there was a famous case of Beacon House when the educators starting using the same name, and they were 2 different parties. They went to the court, and the court granted them a special permission to use only a project of Beacon House, not complete name. You
Okay.
might have seen educators
Yes, I
too,
have, yeah.
and there's a little written
Beacon,
on the
yeah.
side project of Beacon House. So that was allowed by the court. People actually battle their wars legally and in the courts in order to get these rights protected, because it's very important. It is going to have a lot of benefits in favor of the inventor or the peoples who are actually the owner of the intellectual property right. So we have to see what kind of remedy we are seeking. There are special courts. They are called intellectual property rights court. They are there to enforce your right if any sort of violation has taken place. We have to see what kind of violation has taken place. If this is regarding patents, intellectual property rights, copyrights, what kind of violation has taken place. On the other side, if we talk about the criminal remedies available in the law, we can see that we can get an FIR registered against the person, and again it will depend that what kind of violation has taken place. So these are the diverse law which we need to understand, but they are implemented in a sense. It was when we talk about that why there are special courts, why not the ordinary court?
Yeah.
There? So we see that special concentration can be given to these rights, because when we see that people's coming from abroad and they will see that indicators what kind of business authorities, what kind of business courts are available there, and if they are speedy, if their rights are violated, then how they can go to the court and for how many years they need to wait for their rights for implementation. So that is the reason these courts were designed to be separately as compared to an ordinary court. So that's the reason we have separate intellectual property rights court.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for explaining the resulting factor of not following the intellectual property rights and breaching it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. We will see you next time on another episode of Concentrating on Law. My name is Mahnoor, and this is UMT TV.